Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to Our Issues Birmingham. Today's guest is Cindy Mullins. She is Executive Director of Birmingham Landmarks. Welcome to our show, Cindy.
Thank you.
And for those of you who do not know what Birmingham Landmarks is, I guess that's the right English.
Yeah.
It's not an R.
Right.
Although it's multiple things. It's primarily the Alabama Theater and the Lyric Theater, among other things.
Right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Birmingham Landmarks and yourself and how you got to be the executive director of Birmingham Landmarks?
Definitely. So Birmingham Landmarks is the nonprofit that owns and operates the Alabama Theater, the Lyric Theater, and some of the adjoining properties around that area on 3rd Avenue North in Birmingham. One of the things that makes our organization really unique is that it was actually formed to keep the Alabama Theater from being torn down in the 80s. And it was formed by volunteers who cared for the theater, but primarily for the pipe organ inside of the Alabama.
And the Mighty Wurlitzer.
Yes. And then many years later, they also bought the Lyric Theater to keep it from a similar fate. I've actually worked for Birmingham Landmarks since 2012. I started working there doing weddings and private events. And then when the Lyric Theater opened in 2016, I started managing the events and kind of general operations there. Then in 2017, I started taking over doing the events at the Alabama as well. And from there, we got through the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh, boy.
And starting this year in February, I'm now the executive director. So I've really had the pleasure to kind of grow up working at Birmingham Landmarks and in these beautiful places. And I've held a lot of different roles. And so I'm really excited to, see what else comes my way.
Well, congratulations
Thank you.
on that climb. Those two theaters are absolutely gorgeous. And I am so happy that Birmingham Landmarks got involved in that long ago. Regretfully, I used to go to the train station too, and that's a very sad story.
Absolutely. That is something that we hear from a lot of our guests.
It's awful.
That they've lost some of their beloved landmarks around Birmingham, specifically the train station. And we are just so thankful that a group of volunteers formed Birmingham Landmarks in order to save really my favorite building in Birmingham, the Alabama, from being torn down. We're really fortunate that the Alabama Theater looks essentially the way that it did when it first opened in 1927. It has not ever been closed for a very significant amount of time. And so it has been basically continuously running since the 20s.
I do remember going in on Saturday mornings with Pepsi bottle caps or something to get in to see the Mickey Mouse Club or whatever.
So at one point, the Alabama Theater was home to one of the world's largest Mickey Mouse clubs.
Oh.
Which we think is really special.
I actually remembered that. I'm right?
Yes.
About Mickey
You're
Mouse?
Right.
I thought that.
There are also a lot of
familiar.
other like Saturday morning activities that you might have done when you were a kid. A lot of people tell us that their mom went shopping at Loveman's and they got dropped off at the kids club.
At the clock. We would get picked up underneath the clock at
Right.
Loveman's on the corner, which is now the McWayne Center. Now you back right into the McWayne Center.
Yes, we're next door neighbors sharing
Do
a
you
wall.
coordinate events with each other?
We do sometimes. The Alabama Theater is primarily a rental facility, which means that almost all of our events that we present are actually hosted by a promoter that has rented our building and they're producing their show. And so sometimes that can make it a little tricky to coordinate events like our concerts and things like that. But we do try to work together, especially around Christmas when we're doing holiday films for children. They have the IMAX theater, so we try to make sure that that we're not trying to show the same movie at the same time, but they're very good neighbors to us. And of course, we love having their parking deck available for all of our customers.
Yeah. Those old Christmas movies don't lend themselves to IMAX very well, I would not think.
No. Yeah,
they're more action places.
Yeah, action, educational. We really...
I saw the making of Led Zeppelin recently at the IMAX.
I love visiting the IMAX. That's one of the few places that you get that dome experience.
Little baby sphere.
Yes, exactly. We really try to embrace our strengths, but also what makes us different from the other businesses in Birmingham, and so I think that's what makes us good neighbors with somebody like the McWayne Center.
Now, the Lyric, on the other hand, went through a real downturn.
Yes.
And got kind of trashy, and is now premier.
Right.
For a venue that would hold about 750.
Correct.
The Alabama Theater is closer to 2,000, right?
Yes. So the Alabama seats just under 2,200, whereas the Lyric seats right at 750. It originally seated about 1,200.
The Lyric?
Yes. The Lyric had a top balcony that we're not currently seating. That was originally the segregated balcony. Back earlier in the Lyric's life, but also over time you have to make seats bigger, you have to add places for soundboards and light boards, you have to account for wheelchair and accessible seating, things like that. So we're down to 750 now.
So we're only using the lower level?
We're using the lower level and the middle balcony.
Okay. And most of the things that go on there are events that are put on by promoters.
Correct.
Would be a correct assessment?
Yeah, so at the Lyric we have a lot of concerts, comedy shows, but we also have a lot of community events like charity fundraisers. We have some dance recitals. We've recently had a local presentation of a children's Swan Lake, but all of those events are rentals. So for example, our Swan Lake show, the Magic City Performing Arts Organization rented the Lyric, but they present the performance themselves.
Well, we're going to talk about some other things, particularly about funding. I'm sure
Definitely.
You're interested in talking about funding.
Yes.
So don't go away. This is Our Issues Birmingham. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Our Issues Birmingham. We're talking with Cindy Mullins about Birmingham landmarks, and two particularly, the Alabama Theater and the Lyric Theater. These things don't operate without capital.
Definitely.
You got to have revenue, and you got to have, I suspect, contributions from people in the community that want to keep things going.
For sure.
Where do you get most of your funding?
So most of our funding is earned by having events. When you come to a show, when you buy a ticket, we get a portion of the revenue from that. When you buy snacks, drinks at the concessions, we get a portion from that. When you buy merchandise, that supports us. So you can support us just by being a customer, by coming and enjoying your time at our beautiful theaters. But we also earn a significant portion of our revenue from donations, from contributions. And that can be anywhere from dropping a few dollars in the fishbowl on your way out of the theater, from making a one-time donation online, or even signing up to make an estate contribution to our endowment campaign. So right now we're actually working on fully funding our endowment. We're calling it the Forever Fund, in hopes of creating a sustainable fund to ensure that the Alabama and the Lyric never run into a situation where maintenance can't be maintained, where we can't afford to do necessary maintenance. And so that could be anything from a new roof, a new air conditioner, to dealing with the effects of a water leak, but also, we may need to repair paint and plaster someday. We may need to replace flooring, things like that.
Well, you still have plaster.
Oh, yes.
In the places.
Definitely. The Alabama Theater is mostly plaster on the walls. The Lyric has a combination of plaster and sheetrock, but almost all of the decorative ornamentation that you would see on the walls, on the ceilings, all of the intricate details, that is all plaster. And plaster can just be tricky to deal with,
Yeah, well, people that do plaster work
Yes.
are hard to find.
Yes, and that's one of the situations that we run into frequently, is that finding the skilled craftsmen that we need to come in and work in our facilities are harder and harder to come by. They have very specialized skills, and that can come with a hefty price tag. And so we obviously want quality work. We're hoping to make our theaters last into the next generation and beyond. So we're willing to do whatever it takes, but owning and operating 2 historic theaters is quite expensive.
What kind of budget are we talking about annually?
So between the 2 theaters, we're typically looking at about a $3 million annual budget. We do everything that we can to keep costs low. You know, we
have volunteers.
We work with volunteers. We do everything that we can to be energy efficient. We're actually making some big efforts right now to change some of our electrical systems to be as energy efficient as possible.
At the Alabama?
Yes.
I've been backstage.
Definitely. Well, you might see some changes from the last time that you've been there.
I know it looks industrial.
Definitely. You know, that's
it's an industrial.
I think that
but
people.
the history there, I just cannot imagine all the people that have been back there.
Oh, absolutely.
Over since the 20s.
There have been some real legends from the golden age of film all the way till now, with rock and roll, country, hip hop, and everything in between, comedians, but also children dancing in their dance recitals. Yeah. Right now we're in graduation and dance recital season, so we really have the privilege
My
of...
condolences.
It's a fun time.
A lot of mothers.
Lots of...
No offense to the mothers of the world.
Lots of children, lots of families.
I'm familiar with the dance
for sure.
recital world.
Well, and you know what an important day that is to the dancers and their families. So I really consider it a blessing that we're able to be such an important part of these kids' lives. You know, they'll grow up having memories of coming here. When I worked with weddings primarily, I met a lot of brides who told me that they danced on that stage as a child and that they dreamed of getting married there one day. So I really think it's special that we can be such an important piece of the puzzle in someone's life. But, you know, one of my favorite things about the Alabama and the Lyric is that people are coming to us to have fun. I really can't think of a time that anyone's ever come there to have a bad time or a sad time. They're either coming to watch a Christmas movie, they're coming to watch their, you know, high schooler graduate, they're coming to be in a dance recital, they're coming to their favorite artist for a concert. Like it's a celebration all the time.
And it's intimate.
Definitely. So the Alabama...
Unlike other venues that hold lots of people with big high ceilings.
Absolutely.
Where sound is not so easy to capture.
Yes, for sure. The Alabama was originally built to be a movie theater. And so because of that, it doesn't fan out very wide. It goes deep, but everybody has a nice straight-on view of the stage. The Lyric is a little shorter and fans out more wide, but you are very close to the stage, even in the furthest away seat. You know, in my opinion, we really don't have a nosebleed seat in the house at either room. And you're going to get a nice intimate experience at both venues.
So there's going to be a little crawler running across the screen right now that encourages people to go to with your website.
Yeah.
And that is?
So if you go to alabamatheater.com, that will direct you to the Lyric if you're interested in looking there. But if you're interested in making a contribution, there's a tab at the top of the page, Support Us. If you click that, it will tell you how you can be a volunteer. It will tell you how you can contribute to our endowment, how you can make a one-time online donation, every option that we have. So, and if you're looking for ways to get involved, you can always contact us, and we can talk about what kind of options there are.
Yeah, well, y'all think about that. We're going to take another short break, but we're coming right back. Don't go away. This is Our Issues Birmingham. welcome back to Our Issues Birmingham. We're learning about Birmingham landmarks, particularly the Alabama Theater and the Lyric Theater. I've spent time in both of them, but we're coming upon the summer, and Idle Hands being the Devil's Workshop, what things are available, particularly for young people and for people like me, and for people like you, are coming up that they can participate in, or go to, or attend, whatever the right word is.
So in early June, we have the Temptations coming to the Alabama Theater.
The Temptation. Surely there's just one.
There are some newer members of the Temptations as well.
We're into another generation.
Definitely.
I noticed the coaster. The coasters were coming, and the Platters were coming. Those are music groups from when I was in my teens.
We refer to those as legacy acts sometimes, and so one thing that's fun about
You got the Temptations.
And one thing that's fun about a band like that coming is that people get to relive kind of a time gone by.
Oh yeah.
But we see such a wide audience that comes to a show like that. We also see a lot of grandparents and grandchildren coming together. So they'll be coming in early June. We have something really exciting coming up at the end of June into July at both of our venues. We're participating as venues for the World Police and Fire Games.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal.
So you'll be able to see bodybuilding at the Lyric Theater and wrestling at the Alabama Theater. And as far as I know, we have never had wrestling at the Alabama Theater. So we're really excited to see what that's going to be like. And,
I am too. That's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, and we're going to be hosting
usually
visitors
it's in
from
the
all over.
round.
Yeah.
But this will not be like that.
Right. It'll be set up on stage. So the viewpoint will be coming, from the auditorium, from the audience side. And so I'm excited to see what that's going to be like. But I'm hoping we'll get to meet visitors from all over the world, coming to participate. So that's going to be a great time.
And how do people learn about this? Will there be a blast?
Yeah.
When the World Games get going, they'll be able to get tickets online.
Right.
And things.
Once we get a little bit more information about the confirmed schedule and how you can access tickets, that'll all be on our website. Ticket purchasers are always signed up for our email blast. So if you have visited the theater before, bought a ticket for one of our shows, you'll be getting an email blast with information about that.
I don't think people realize how big the bodybuilding business is.
Oh, definitely.
It's
we're excited.
Huge revenue generator,
right,
for lots of spin-off type.
Definitely.
Tanning.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oiling.
Yes, we've actually we've been working through how that getting ready process for the competitors will work in our buildings. We've already identified where they'll be able to do their spray tanning and things like that.
It's too weird.
Yeah. Well, it's just that's show business. There's always something new coming up, and we're excited to be a part of it. Looking forward into the far future, 2027 will be the Alabama Theater's 100th anniversary. So we're getting excited and making plans for what I'm hoping will be a year-long celebration. So stay tuned for more information about that. But we're always adding new shows as we go. We don't work in a season specifically, like maybe a local theater company might, like a producing theater that does plays. We are always booking new events constantly. So if you are checking your emails, if you're checking our website and our social media, you'll see that we're always adding new events. We've got some comedy shows coming up. We're getting ready for a very busy fall, and we always are looking forward to our annual holiday film series. We'll be announcing that schedule sometime during the summer. So it may feel a little bit early for Christmas, but if you've ever been a visitor at our holiday film series, you know that the tickets go fast, and you need to be on the lookout for them.
So you don't do the Rocky Horror Show anymore?
Right, we don't do that anymore. We decided a few years ago, actually when we were closed during the pandemic and we were able to do some maintenance and repairs in the theater, we decided that it was time for us to stop hosting that event, just because some of the things that are used as part of that event were causing some damage to the building. And so ultimately it's Birmingham Landmarks' mission to preserve and protect the Alabama Theater and Lyric Theater.
A little too rowdy.
For the future, for the next generation. And so as much as we love that event and as fun as it is, we decided that it was time for us to stop being a part. but it still goes on in the community. It's just moved to another venue now, but we're great friends with the producers of that event, and we miss it. It was a great time. Now around Halloween, we do still have our silent film presentation of the Phantom of the Opera. That's a really great time to see what our theater pipe organ can do. Big Bertha is what we call her. We show
It's a beautiful instrument.
it's amazing. We show the silent film played live with an original score, and we do it every year, typically the Sunday before Halloween. So be on the lookout for that. Tickets will be going on sale soon. And we've also been showing Hocus Pocus for Halloween, and that has really become a new favorite. We've been really lucky to have a great crowd of children all the way to adults dressing up, enjoying Halloween at the Alabama Theater.
So when you say you do a live version of a silent film, is the Wurlitzer playing music while the film is running?
Yes,
That's how that works?
we have a live organist playing along with the silent film, so none of the sound that you hear
Fascinating.
is coming from the movie. It's all coming from the organ itself, being played live right at that moment. And you'll actually see the organist brought into the theater, and
It
you'll
comes
see
out of
him
the
play.
ground. Doesn't it come off up from a lift?
Yeah, the organ is on a lift and rises and lowers into the orchestra pit. So it's really a unique experience here in Birmingham.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
It's fascinating
Yeah.
stuff. Hope you guys take advantage of what we have to offer here in Birmingham for some fun times. This is Our Issues Birmingham. Thanks for being with us this week, and we will see you next Sunday.
Alabama Weather Authority. In your home, in your office, in your pocket. Constantly updated by your ABC 3340 weather team and available to you anytime, anywhere. Local weather from local experts. ABC 3340, the Weather Authority, working for you. We get it. Your mornings are hectic.
We're here to help you get ready for your day.
Good Morning Alabama on ABC 3340.
GMA doesn't waste your time.
Local weather, traffic, and news always on your screen.
So the information you need, always where you can see it, even during commercials.
Plus, we have the Good Morning Alabama live desk.
Always updating breaking news in your neighborhood and around the world.
Everything you need to prepare for your day. Good Morning Alabama on ABC 3340.